Thank you. My name's Ilona Gibson. I'm from Gundawindi Regional Council. Gundawindi's down on the border with New South Wales, so I would like to pay my respects and acknowledge the traditional owners from the Bigginbill people, but also Kamilaroi people, which go over the border somewhat because our catchment covers that whole area, regardless of the border. I do have a slide. I'm not going to entertain you with multiple slides, so I can start talking before that comes up. Just wanted to say, realising, listening to the other speakers and seeing who's here, that where I'm coming from is from a small library. Gundawindi is a small library and we have 2 outposts which are single-person outposts. We're part of Rural Libraries Queensland. So the things that we do when we spend the prep time can't be multiplied over many sites at once. So we're limited in thinking of the hits that we get coming back from the resources that we spend. So that's something that we're particularly conscious of, and of course our council's particularly conscious of. Having said that, the slide that's up there now is our Gundawindi Regional Council website, which you'd all have. We go through our residents page, onto our libraries page, and this is what's there, and I'll come back to that. Some of you may well be interested in this and some of you won't, and that's fine. But to get you thinking about, are you interested in this or not, can I ask you 4 questions? And thinking of the readership, the customers that we have at the moment, do you have customers that are your traditional, been in the library long term, forever, very comfortable with where they're at, very comfortable with using the library as it is, but you're really trying to drag them and encourage them into this more digital, technological age where we've heard a lot of things about this morning? Do you have customers that can't access your library in those traditional hours that we're open, the normal 9 to 5 hours that we're open? You'd have many people in your catchment areas that can't come in and do that. And do you have, and I was thinking of rural libraries, but you may all have this. Do you have customers that they're very limited in their access? They're isolated for some reason or another, physical or ability-wise, whatever it might be, and they can't connect and they can't engage in the normal way or as meaningfully as some other people can, and they're always on the fringes. And do you have, and I'm sure we all have, certainly smaller libraries, have those active, vibrant people in the community that they're out there, they have their networks all through the community, they're part of this group and that group and another group. But they're also part of our library, but they're the ones who spread the word, they're the ones who are engaged out there in the community, and they're the ones that are really our advocates, our core group to get our library messages out. And I'm making an assumption that all libraries to some extent have those 4 groups. When I was preparing the abstract for this, I was saying that as libraries, we need to be proactive in getting these traditional library members, these people who are happy using the library the way they are, engaged in the digital side of the library, engaged in embracing the challenges, the benefits, the concept of the more digitally types of programs that we have. We can't just design the programs, put them out there and expect them to get it. We need to proactively move them along with us. And this program is just one of the ways you can do that, and there's many others. So what are we? What is it, the program? It's called the Gundawindi Library Regional Council Library Book Lovers Group. It's a book group. And it's not the sort of group where we all read the same book and then come to discuss it a month later. The normal book club, they have their place, and this isn't it. This group is where the readers get together and they talk about, what they're reading, what they recommend, favourite authors, have you tried this? This is a different genre. Have you seen the review about that? This is what I think of this book. And they were meeting monthly, still meeting monthly in the library doing that. And why did we start that particular group? It was because, and you probably all have the same, because the best recommendations for books, whether they're audio books or online books or written books, the best recommendations you ever get aren't from us librarians, sorry, but are from other readers. And they tell us, and we think great, and we pass it on to someone else. So we started this group to get those people together talking to each other. And that was all fine, everything, like you said, everything works fine, you're going great. And then COVID hit, like with everyone, and it pushed us online and made us think outside the box. And it was good, because it really opened up some opportunities for us and made us think differently. And we found that this program, while it was a lot more work to get stuff up online every month, it actually met those 4 group needs that we kept coming across. It actually made our current traditionally type members who came in every month go online if they wanted to have a look at what was in the content. It encouraged them to get under that whole online process. But we also had the great opportunity to hit a larger market of people who weren't coming into the library, people who can't access it in their normal time, can jump online and do the same thing with us. Younger people, different working hours, whatever it might be, isolated people. And that was beautiful. And then it just kept evolving, and it seemed to have a life of its own, and it began that social connection purpose. It seemed to meet that need. And because we're online as well as in the library, people didn't have to commit to come all the time, so they could just tentatively put their toes in the water. So the shyer, quieter people in the community, if I could get them along once to come into the group and saying they could go online otherwise, they'd come along. And then it was the group that drove that. Didn't have to pour our resources into it. It's the group then that picks them up, they phone them, they bring them along, they invite them to other things, they introduce them to other people, and these people are networking. And so the big one for me is we're getting the blokes in, the retired farmers, the fellas, in off the properties. The guys who, when I first pitch it, go, you're not getting involved in a book group, not for me. But they're the ones that now, they're there every month because they have their own little network of like people that they can chat with. And in this age of rural isolation and are you okay, that's something that really pushes the buttons for me. It works really well. So I make a point of having something in the group that is only in the group. It doesn't go up online. But there's also content online that they're not going to get unless they go online. They can't just come to the group. That's the portal to get them there. So that's what we are. So a little bit more about our online business. We're intentionally on that Gundawindi Regional Council website because, and again, many of you will know the same thing, but taking these customers who are quite happy not engaging online onto something like social media from there to there is just too big a jump. It's just too much for them. So we jump onto the council website, it's safe, it's not social media, you can access this, and bit by bit they transition from there, and it works. We put them onto here, and then they start looking at other council rates or dogs or botanic gardens or whatever it might be, and they're benefiting from that. But it's also a great advocacy point back to council when I remind them what we do about getting people onto their website. And from there we have links they can follow and they will go to library programs. They are picking up Be Connected programs. They are picking up links to other online activities through this portal. Then we'll have links to State Library or Trove or library-related material that's broader than Gundawindi. And then from there, some of them branch onto better reading, ABC book clubs, whatever. And they're going onto Facebook. Surprise, surprise, but they are. So they're slowly moving that way. So it's hitting all those groups. And I'm hitting the mic. Right. The thing that means the most to me is that it's accessible from anywhere. And this is my pitch. It's accessible not just in Gundawindi, but throughout the state or the country. So we're starting a group in our country town of Inglewood, and that's only a one-man library, one-person library. So they don't have the capacity to run a group. They'll get 2-3 people in, they'll access what we do. So if you're sitting in St George or Thargomindah or up the sunny coast or Townsville, wherever, and you're thinking, hey, this is something that might work for our people, but I don't have the time, energy, resources to take on yet another program, use ours. You can jump on it anywhere. And so my pitch is the same thing. From a library point of view, can we be intentional about sharing these sort of resources. So if I'm looking at National Science Week, I don't have the time, energy or resource to develop something. Can I jump on, Kate, and use yours? If I'm looking at a program somebody else is running that maybe only 1 or 2 people are interested in, but I can't do, can I jump on and share yours? So I'm encouraging you guys to think about bringing us a traditional people through. By all means, jump on and use what I've already done. We've done it for 5 years, it's survived COVID, it's proven, it's ticking all these boxes. I think it actually ticks everything that's very good about public libraries, what we're about. But I'm asking if as libraries, we intentionally go that step further and say, let's have our own library where we can access each other's online content and share those resources. It benefits us, it benefits our customers, and we can go back to our councils and say, hey, yeah, please support what I'm doing because my library team out there are adding so much more worthwhile into our library service. So let's share.